please use your voice and make a change, and don't look forward for the handouts. It's not going to last you. It's not going to last you, and this country needs something more than that. This country seriously needs a change, and we need to do it together. We cannot do it alone. So I appreciate each and every one of you for always listening to us, for following us, and listening to what we have to say. If you are still not sure what the URSM is about, you can always log on to our website at www.ursm.sx. And once again, that's www.ursm.sx. And we will ensure on that website you will see our manifesto. And apart from that, you will also find our 10-year vision for the country of Sint Maarten. So those are information, those are keys to see where we want this country to head. Which direction do we want to go? So once again, tomorrow is an important day for our country. Tomorrow you are given a choice. You are given a choice, and you have to think to yourself, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago when you were given a choice as well? For those of you that are first-time voters, I encourage you as well to please don't only look at one individual on a list. Look at a political list holistically. Make sure you know who the leaders are, what they stand for, who are in the boards of these establishments, of these movements, of these parties, because if in case your person or the candidate that you entrust does not get that seat, do you entrust the party as holistically to be able to fulfill what this country needs? So please do your homework, do your research. Take the time this evening and really go through all the information. And for those of you that want to know more about me as well, please, you can go on Facebook at Wever Works. Look for Christopher Wever, or just type in Wever Works, and you will find all the information, what I've done in my past career as a minister, what I've done after I was a minister, and what I intend to do once I'm elected to Parliament tomorrow. So I encourage you, do your homework. And for those of you, once again, we are live. We would like to encourage you, if you would like to call in, words of encouragement, just let us know what your feeling is. What do you want to see for this country? What do we want to see tomorrow? So the phone number is 543-7961. 543-7961. Give us a call. Let's have a chat. And let's talk about the future of our great country. Some of the things that I am vying for as well is to eliminate the taxes towards our senior citizens. I think these are things that can be done through on a parliament level. Our seniors have been burdened throughout the years, getting the minimum that they are receiving in their pension, and yet we're taxing their pension income as well. And with the cost of living and everything like that going up, we have to secure that our seniors are taken care of. We have to ensure that our seniors are able to survive in the tough times that we are living in right now. They've been paying tax. We've been paying tax throughout our lives as a working class so that we can enjoy our pension to the utmost when we reach that age. Another thing that I'm also looking to champion is to subsidize the early childhood education. I think this is so important. This will help alleviate some of the costs for not only single parents out there, but for families in general. These are things that we need to look at holistically and see, because at the end of the day, one thing tackles another. And if we can help parents save money when it comes to the early childhood education, and free up a little bit more funds in their pockets, not only will they be better off, but it's something that will help the country in a whole. We also would like to establish a national development bank, so that way that it can encourage home ownership for our own people out there. It will also make sure that the percentage where we can get these loans are reasonable, where we can get first homeowners to be able to purchase their homes at a low percentage. I'm looking at creating legislation to establish the parents' contribution to the schools, because quite often you're hearing the school fee, and a lot of times it's during the start of the school year where parents cry out as they need assistance to pay the school fee. As we know by law, there is no school fee. It is a school contribution that is paid. Of course, without that, it makes it difficult for the schools to function. So we do encourage our parents to pay the school contribution. But when government comes involved, this is something that we need to assist, that no longer will it be a school contribution, but it will be legislated that it will also be subsidized by the government to be able to do that. And then quite often, then you hear the question, yes, but how will we pay for these things? You know, we're cutting this and cutting costs here and cutting costs there. And we have to really look at the tax system, you know, and the compliance within our tax system as it is. You know, once we raise the compliance level, then we will definitely receive more funding within our government coffers to be able to execute these things, you know. So instead of raising taxes, we're looking at raising the compliance of the persons that are paying the taxes. And of course, establish a predators list as well. We hear the horrific stories in the newspaper that with the child molestation, and also listening about when they do get convicted, that they end up getting community service, and just a few hours community service, and just a slap on the wrist. So these are things that we're looking at, establish the predators list to be able to then prevent further victimization of our youths out there as well. And then things that we're looking at as well is that when we come to our returning students, what do we benefit, or what do we offer them? What kind of incentives are in place to ensure that they would want to come back home to visit and to settle back home on the island? And these are things that we're looking into. So for instance, their housing, cutting their tax, giving them a tax break for up to a year to be able to settle within our country, you know, because at the end of the day, they are from here, so we need to treat them good. And some might say, yes, but how will we pay for it? Well, we are paying for it already when we're looking at our foreign specialists that are coming here, you know, to help. The advisors from different countries come. We do give them a tax holiday. We do give them a car. We give them a house. So why not focus and have that done for us, for our local people, to be able for them, to encourage them to come back home. I know plenty, I know a lot of persons that went away to study and became doctors and lawyers and never returned home because it just wasn't feasible for them with the cost of living and just to be able to start, you know. So these are things that we're looking in as a political party and a movement. And for, you know, any other issues and see where we're looking at, I think we need to just, I encourage you to go on to our website, which is www.ursm.sx. Once again, www.ursm.sx. And you'll find our full manifesto there, and you'll also find our 10-year vision as it relates to our country. Once again, we're live. Please give us a call, 543-7961. 543-7961. This is the eve of elections. The you can feel it in the air. I think we've had some successful public meetings. I think the atmosphere is there. The people want a change. And I thank the community of Sint Maarten for embracing the URSM as that new change in the air to look to give the people back the hope that they so well deserve. So once again, I thank you for that. Our last public meeting was yesterday. And, you know, what made me feel so good yesterday is seeing the amount of persons that were there yesterday, not because we were giving away anything free, because USN wasn't giving away free food. We weren't giving away drinks. And persons still showed up to listen to the message, so then you get a true feel of where you are and how you stand as a base. The same way with our motorcade. I think we had a very successful motorcade last week, Sunday as well, before our public meeting in Soccer Garden. And it showed that people want to change, and what's sad is that, quite often when I'm going through the campaign trail, you hear persons say, I want to change, I want to vote, and I will vote for a change, but I cannot show my color. I cannot put on a shirt. I cannot put a flag on my car because I will be victimized by those that are in government at this time. So it's a shame that this is taking place where persons cannot express their freedom of who they want to believe in and who they back. And that, I tell you, my people of Sint Maarten, that will change come tomorrow when the numbers come in. No more do you have to fear of wearing any political color that does not coincide with who is in government at the time. Because when we're in government, and I have proven that myself when I was in office, that it doesn't matter who you voted for. If you voted for me, if you voted for a party that is not aligned with us, once you're entitled to what is entitled for you, then we will definitely make sure that you get what you are rightfully deserve to get.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, super dupe. How
yes.
are you doing, sir?
So usually I'm the guy that's behind the boards when you guys do your radio show. So this is actually my first time speaking on the UR Sint Maarten radio program. And I must say it's been quite a ride with you guys. It's been almost 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years.
About 2 years, yeah.
That you guys have come in every Wednesday. To do an episode. And I've been the one behind the boards all the time. I haven't said anything, but I said, with the eve of elections coming up, maybe I should, do a little quick impromptu interview with you.
No problem.
So you were just talking about when it comes to this year, the elections, how it's gotten, it's gotten very dirty.
Correct.
When it comes to, people basically politicking, not only from the politicians, but also from individuals as well that support different parties. Why do you think the atmosphere was like that this time around? Because usually we're accustomed to a peaceful election. Sometimes you have your little, mudslinging here and there, but I think this particular campaigning season, we've seen the worst come out of a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's a shame, It's something that, this is my first time actually running, but this is the first time I'm seeing it to this extent, where usually, you go at persons, but never personally.
Right.
And right now we're thinking you're getting a lot of personal attacks as well. I think the stakes are so high, at this time, and we're such at a crossroads that the persons that are in office right now, they're scared to lose control of the people because I always refer to it as well, and I said it on some of the public stages as well, that we need to free ourselves from the mental slavery that we are currently at. And you know how that goes. When you free yourself from any kind of abusive situation, the abuser tries to use any kind of tactic as well to try to hold you back. So I think when you're looking at it at that state, I think that is kind of what's happening right now, the desperation, knowing that, because we can feel that the people want something different. They want a fresh, a fresh face, a fresh atmosphere, a different type of politics. I think we've been tired of, listening to Parliament and hearing things that has no relevance to what actually needs to happen in our country. I think when we're looking at our international level as well, how are we viewed at this time as well, and those kind of things people want, and people are tired of what's happening and kind of the stigma that is put in place, not only for Sint Maarten and politicians, and those are things also that encourages me and pushes me to get in this arena and make that change, not only just for me, but just to change the whole face of politics and to give people hope again that if their son or daughter wants to become a politician, that they can say, yes, I don't mind you becoming politics because I've seen some good ones out there.
Yeah.
You know, because right now, if you ask any child, you know, what do you want to be? Not many of them will say they want to be a politician.
No.
And those that do, the parents would not encourage it because they'll be like, you sure? Because look what's going on. You know, do you want to be part of that?
Do you think the 4 years of quote unquote stability made it worse? Because we finally got 4 years.
Yeah, we got 4 years. And it's funny because a lot of the things that I say is not things that I think about. It's things that people come and tell me. So one of the things is somebody came and said, yes, we had 4 years, but 4 times 0 is still 0. You know? So I use those things, but it's not because I'm saying it. It's what the public is saying and telling me, you know. And the only thing that has been stable these 4 years has been the salaries that they have been collecting, you know, because how I compare it as well is if you own a business, and the amount of persons leaving your organization is high, that means something's wrong with either the management of the business. So you're going to look at the manager and you're going to say, listen, something is not right, because the overturn within my workforce is too high. And when we're looking at it right now too, the amount of persons that left the civil servants and government apparatus between these last 4 years, it's been amazing. You know, it's been at an all-time high. And before, I don't know if you remember, but I mean, years ago, persons were running to say, listen, you need to have a government job to be able to be secure. You're going to be safe, you know, get a loan, this and that. So everybody was running to try to get this government job that was supposed to be the savior of the community. And right now, people are like, you know what, they could keep that government job. Let me go look in the private sector and see what's there. So when you see these kind of turnarounds happening, you have to question yourself, because it's not only within the civil servants, within each cabinet of the ministries and the ministers itself, they left, you know, due to not being able to work with who's there. And that says something. And based on that, I think we will see this wave tomorrow of something fresh, something new, and give the people back the hope.
Yeah. You know? Now, you've spoken a lot from URSM's point of view. What is Chris Wever's point of view as an individual running in the parliamentary election? Because we know what the party stands for and what they want on the whole. What about you as an individual? Let's say you get voted into parliament tomorrow. What are some things that you want to tackle? Personally.
So those are the things basically that I mentioned a little earlier as well. But what's so nice about the URSM as well, and being one of the founding members of the URSM, basically what is in the manifesto and what's in the country plan is basically my vision as well, and what aligns with me. And that's one thing that I guess makes us a little different as well than some of the bigger established parties as well, is that we all signed in and agreed that this is the things that we want to tackle. So whether I make it or don't make it, whoever will take that seat knows already the direction that we want this country to go. You know, so I think for me, having been part of the beginning and putting the foundation in place, if I speak about USM, I basically speak about what Chris Wever also wants.
Yeah. Now, at one point, you were the Minister of Romy.
Yeah.
And right now, looking in now, because you were in there, looking in now from the outside, you know, with and I know you're not the type of person to get down and dirty and throw people under the bus and you know and whatnot. What are things that you see now that's happening within the ministries that you think that can be tackled and fixed with a URSM in government?
I think first of all, everything starts with good communication, good vision. Because somebody asked me that as well, like, what would you say about this minister or anything? But I'm not going to particularly call out one particular minister. I'm going to look at government as a whole, you know, because it reflects and it trickles down on all the ministries. So how I look at it is proper communication with the staff of Romy. Because before I even started and I was chef de cabinet, I used to go downstairs all the time to the second floor, and I would talk to the people and just say good morning, how's it going, this and that, and you build a relationship with the people like that. And then when I became minister, I set I sat with the SG as well in my office and say, listen, this is my vision. This is how I would like to work. Let me know how you function. And then like that, we can communicate and get things done. I think the lack of communication and the lack of vision of how we want to communicate and get things done in this government period has been the cause of so many things, because like you're seeing projects going in now and stuff like that. I mean, even when you look at the Ombudsman report and what's been happening now in the newspaper as well, that also could have been avoided in a sense if proper communication was given. Because you're hearing now that certain papers weren't given to the Ombudsman, but if you were transparent and you gave everything and your explanation, then you know for sure that, okay, I gave all the information and this is the full factual report that will come out, but also be transparent with the population of Sint Maarten.
Your name has been called several times in several interviews, especially when it comes to the Alegria project and the Alegria case. I'm not sure if you ever had the opportunity to talk about it in other interviews, but I don't know if you would like to expand on it to let the people know what really happened, especially when it comes to your capacity.
No, of course. I've mentioned it last week as well on SOS, and I mentioned it 2 years ago, I think, on a different radio station as well. Basically, look, the Alegria case, it was something that was started before my time as well. If you remember, right before Hurricane, the then government, they apparently had an agreement with Alegria, the airport and Maho to build a breakwater in front there by Sunset. Now, this was going to be able to broaden the road and also ensure that the beach, because certain times of the year the beach is gone and there's only rocks. So they wanted to encourage that. So they had an agreement. So it was the Alegria, Maho, and the airport. So, and then to expand on that, Alegria would want also the water rights to be able to extend the breakwater to that side to also protect the coast. And if natural disasters will happen, Beacon Hill floods easily as well. Now, in my capacity as a minister of Romy at that time as well, I was privy to certain reports, and one of the recommendations to combat these flooding issues was to ensure that there are breakwaters around certain areas. I mean, even in Great Bay, there's a great breakwater there on the ground there. So it was just to enhance it, and it ain't cheap, So that's why I was also for it. And amongst the breakwater that they wanted to build a pier to be able to have the water taxis go from the Philipsburg area to there, and that it works twofold. I was also in the supervisory board of the harbor at the time, so again I was privy to certain information, and one of the things that they were looking at is the home porting aspect of it, and then when you look at the total picture, and it starts also by having the vision to say, okay, well, this is something that started before me, but it's something that, hey, let me see how we can finalize it. Because, look, when you introduce home porting now, it's going to create an influx in passengers that's coming to the island as well. And what happens when we have an influx? We're going to get more traffic. Even more traffic. Yeah, but also,
in that aspect, yes.
Yeah. But I'm looking at the infrastructure aspect.
Yeah.
So it's going to cause more traffic situations. So what you want to do is try to alleviate and get another way in and out of that situation to kind of balance it out as well.
But was that a concern though? Because as good as the idea sounds, was it a concern when it comes to the local taxi drivers as well?
No, I spoke to them as well. And they were actually all for it, because some of the ideas we had as well is that even when the passengers came, they would be able to then already pre-check, and then from there, that area, the luggage would already go to the ship, and that would give them actually more time with the taxis to do the tour, because then there's no rush to go head straight to the ship to be able to get the luggage out. Then they're able to maybe get a tour to go Mulla Bay or wherever to have, or a beach bar, to be able to have a little lunch or something like that. So the idea is also, and to balance it all out. So when you look at that, it's also the persons that are able to then catch a taxi, water taxi from here to the Maho area to go work in that area as well, where you're not in the traffic situation. So if when you're looking at it, you're looking at the total picture of it. So it was also alarming over the, I think, last week or so when somebody mentioned, the minister mentioned about, but you see, it would take away the taxis and this and that and that. But then you're in the same government now that issued X amount of taxi license and this and that. That is already a issue at this moment. Now, my thing is, you put a pause on it right now. So after you finalize this thing, so after you finalize, then you will look and review back into it. Okay, but how many taxis can we have more right now? 1 second. Yeah. How many taxis can we allow to have? And then issue the license accordingly. But not just because it's election time, now free up. Yeah. And then the same minister that's in a coalition government is going to now have some concerns about a project that could affect issues with taxi, but we're not looking at the bigger picture out there, and with the alleviation of the traffic situation, but not only that, the safety situation when it comes to our weather, and with global warming happening and stuff like that as well, where we can be. I mean, look at what happened the 1st of January, the tsunami that hit based on the earthquake, God forbid that ever happened to us. So we need to be able to protect ourselves too, Yeah. So that was basically the whole situation and the mind frame behind of it as well.
All right, Christopher Wever, your number 2 candidate on the URSM slate. I believe your special guest is arriving soon. Yes. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break.
Yes.
And then allow that special guest to come in. And maybe I could even ask a couple more questions to see what are the plans for URSM after January 11th, especially when it comes to, let's say, forming a coalition.
Yeah.
Because that's also a big talk. So far, we haven't seen any parties get 8 seats or majority outright. So usually we do see a coalition after the election results come in. If URSM is a part of that coalition talks, what are some key aspects that the party will be looking at when forming a coalition with other parties, especially those that might have been in government
of course
recently?
Yes.
The NA government. That might become a discussion that needs to be had.
Yep.
So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Sounds good.
All right. Keep it locked right here to Mix 94.7 FM.
And now, Phillipsburg Broadcasting proudly presents Good Morning, Mr. Governor, with Francis Cardi.
Mr. Governor, voters of Sint Maarten, did you do your job? Did you do it well? If you did not, one thing is certain. I can guarantee you this. The candidates chosen will definitely not do theirs well either. Until January the 11th, it is not about any candidate. It's about every voter taking their responsibility seriously by understanding the issues, vetting the candidates, and making an informed, confident decision at the polls. That is the day we, as a country, pass the baton of power to a few individuals who will be entrusted to make decisions on our behalf that are in our best interest. Visitors to the island see the beauty, but we know the daily stress and struggles of living here, fighting every step of the way to keep our heads above water. We fight bureaucracy, a broken system, failed attempts at fixing long-standing problems, and then listen again to empty promises to fix those same old problems. We have seen our island completely destroyed twice in recent history, and together we have felt the pain of suffering and loss. We are a resilient people. So far, we have always been able to rise again. However, every time it gets harder and harder. Funds are never properly distributed. Favoritism is evident. Bribery is open and becoming frighteningly common practice. Crime is on the rise. Foreign investors keep building and building, while our infrastructure and main elements needed for basic survival are collapsing. Sint Maarteners are less of a priority than our foreign immigrants, who are now openly given more rights regarding our future than our brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters whose hearts have always been and will always belong here and nowhere else. God has blessed us by entrusting us with this tiny dot in the world, which is one of the most beautiful places on earth. We are truly undeserving, as we are failing that trust miserably. My fellow Sint Maarteners, this is our home. It is the home of our ancestors before us, who handed it over in a state that they could be proud of. It is our job to do the same for those who come after us. Here we are again with an opportunity to set a new course for our future and that of generations of Sint Maarteners to come. It is our job to elect leaders who put the interest of the people before themselves, have the vision and ability to set our country on a successful path, and always have Sint Maarten in their hearts. When God offered to give King Solomon anything he wanted, he asked for wisdom to lead his people. Given the seriousness of Sint Maarten's issues, the fragile state we are in, and the important, pivotal moment we face, I ask that we as voters be granted the wisdom to elect leaders who are truly deserving, willing, and able to make Sint Maarten, once again, a land that we are proud to hand over to the next generation. Have a good day, Mr. Governor.
That was Good Morning, Mr. Governor by Francis Carty.
Every morning, join CBS News correspondents on the World News Roundup, broadcast 7 mornings a week for reports from the major news centers of the world. They take you right to where the news is happening, let you learn the details from experts who've watched the news develop, make you spectator to the most spectacular events of our time, take you to the scene of the news for on-the-spot reports and lively interviews with people in the news. No matter what is happening, no matter where it's happening, you'll be well informed if you follow the story on the World News Roundup.
I have a picture pinned to my wall, an image of you and of me, and we're laughing with love at it all. Look at our life now, all tattered and torn. We fuss and we fight and delight in the tears that we cry until dawn. Oh, hold me now. Oh, hold my heart. Stay with me. Let loving start. Let loving start. You say I'm a dreamer. We're two of a kind. Both of us searching for some perfect world we know we'll never find. So perhaps I should leave here, yeah, and go far away. But you know that there's nowhere that I'd rather be than with you here today.
Yes, and we're back on You Are Saint Maarten. You know, I have my special guest here with me, Miss Gracita Arrindell. And also, you know, some bring out Busy Signal and I bring out Super Kid. So,
Yes. Actually, before the break, before we get to Gracita Arrindell, because I know she has a lot to say, we only have a few minutes left. So, Chris, I was asking you the question before the break. What is URSM's take, let's say, you know, after the elections tomorrow,
Correct.
and there is a possibility that a coalition has to form,
Yep.
and URSM is in that conversation. Now, I know usually that's left up to the board to make that decision,
Yes.
and the leader, but you are also
Correct.
the deputy leader,
Yep.
so I'm sure you also have a say in that.
Yep.
What are some key aspects that URSM will be looking for when forming a, or if they have to form a coalition, if you guys don't get an outright majority?
No, definitely. And I think, first of all, everybody would want the 8 outright, if not more. But if that happens, I think based on what we stand for as USM and looking to walk down a different road, I think we would take it a complete different level, you know, and not to have to be like, okay, in midnight, we got to sign some rush to do anything.
What am I getting? And
You know, I think it's important to find out first who got those seats, what the dynamics will look like in the different parties as well, before we even begin to think on different ministries and things like that as well. So I think that is would be a different approach, and I think that is something that's welcome to the public as well, because quite often we rush into things and then we find out, hey, wait, we didn't really match what we wanted to do, but it's just because we're so scared to lose a momentum, not to join with something. Definitely what we know out there is that people are looking for something, looking for a change out there. So whatever decision we take, the USM, that is the first thing that we're going to think on is how will we bring change to the people of Sint Maarten?
Okay. All right, Chris, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Super. And so next to me, I have Miss Gracita Arrindell.
Yes.
My also a nice guest to have alongside of me. So just, it's the eve of elections.
The elections of elections.
Yes. And definitely this is, and I mentioned it earlier as well, we are at a crossroad. And I think this is one of the most important elections that I think this country has ever had. And it will determine where we will go forward, not only for the next 4 years, but many years to follow.
Absolutely.
You know? So what is your take? You've been so experienced as well with elections. I mean, being there from the beginning, our first, first president of parliament. And also having experienced so many different elections as well.
Correct.
And I mean, Super and myself were also talking about it earlier about this one is a lot dirtier. We've never experienced something like that.
Correct.
You know? So maybe you can also let us know what is there. How do you feel, Gracita? How do you feel? And also what is different and why is it so dirty this time as well?
Because people are desperate. First of all, good evening. And thank you again for having me. I'm very, very grateful, always thankful to be able to participate in the electoral process. It's a very, very important process that decides the quality of lives of our people. And it is what you vote for and who you vote for. Nowadays, you know, like we are live right now. Everyone has a phone, you know, or you're online. It's not like 20, 30 years ago where it was just a little we for we thing, you know. Now there are so many dynamics playing a role. But now on the eve of these elections and being a participant, and I thank you again so much, Chris, yourself, the leader of the party, Dr. Luc Marceline, and the board, to bring me along with my experience and knowledge and passion and network to help move this country forward. Tomorrow is so important that the results is going to send a message to the world. That's my message to the voters and the listeners out there. The results of the elections tomorrow is going to tell the people of Sint Maarten, is going to tell our colleagues, the sister islands, the countries within the kingdom, and the rest of the world, what does Sint Maarten want? Do we want good governance? Do we want a quality of life for our people? Do we want affordable housing? Do we want affordable electricity, GB? period, do we want a
people
country
that are integrity,
that have accountability and integrity? Do we want to send a message that Sint Maarten is the place for families to raise their kids?
Correct.
That people could be happy. It's a clean and affordable island. That's the message that's going to resonate tomorrow when the people come out en masse and say, you know, enough is enough. We don't like the direction this country is heading into. And tomorrow is the opportunity for the people not to get upset and get mad, but to translate their disappointment and their loss of hope and faith in the electoral system and in government. Give that back. Get that hope and faith back by giving us the mandate, Chris. We need to get a resounding yes.
And just to ask you, you've been through many campaigns. You've been door to door, doing the grassroots as well, actually talking to the people. What seems to be different right now when you go and campaign? Is there that hope of what you speak of?
Yes, yeah.
Is that there with the people?
It is. It's a two-way thing. You know, it's a double-edged sword. Because the people are disappointed, because we have seen the situation that many of our people live in, the dilapidated homes, in spite of the fact that we received $550 million from Holland 5 years ago to help fix these buildings, these homes, the running sewage water. So they are very upset, very disappointed. But on the other hand, because of the URSM, because we took the initiative to say, you know, we want to face you, we want to listen to you, and we want to share what we are going to do different. So those are the two things that I picked up. On the one hand, they are upset, very upset. And on the other hand, they're like, okay, you know what? There's hope. There's hope with the URSM. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy about for that opportunity for both of us.
I think so.
Meaning the party, the fact that we can make that change, but more so for the people of Sint Maarten.
Correct.
You know, they deserve, our people deserve better. During the discussions, as you know, there are many issues that came up, but there were three that kept coming back, right? That's the running sewage water, the housing situation, you know, that it's too expensive, and of course the cost of living.
Correct.
And with the cost of living, there are other matters that ties in, you know, the low pension, low income, high food prices, etc. And we have a plan. The URSM has a plan to really tackle these issues on short term and
long
mid-term.
term.
Yes.
And I mentioned the website as well, live, that persons can still go ahead, you know, do your research. I mean, don't just make a decision based on today for tomorrow because, hey, that one has a nice car or whatever it is, you know, but actually do the research. I think this campaign, URSM especially, has been really active. We've been doing this radio program now for about 2 years.
Correct.
You know, we've been doing our Facebook Live now for about 2 years. So there's enough information out there. And also all our candidates, you know, we've included everyone as well, give them that opportunity as well, that the information is there.
Correct.
So I would also just, like to give you the word. I mean, you know, it's the eve of elections. What would you say to the voting population out there?
Come out and vote. Your vote is the power. There's no other way. Democracy is a system that gives the citizen, the electorate, the power. I mean, this is not a dictatorship. And let's hope we don't go in that direction because there are a lot of ugly things that are happening. Let's be honest, that we're seeing right now. So if the people want to take back this country, then they have to come out. Take the rage that you have, the outrage that you have. Use that tomorrow morning. And please, on behalf of the URSM, come out and vote early. The traffic situation is just horrific.
Correct.
Come out early, cast your vote, cast it with pride, cast it with determination, because again, the result will tell the world that Sint Maarten is ready for a new direction. And we reject this old way that is becoming really rampant of vote buying and voters intimidation. It's ugly. I don't like it. I'm sad about it, but you know, that's why we're sitting here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
To fix it.
Yeah, and I think like a hot topic such as vote buying, I mean, back in the days, you used to hear about it, kinda,
and now it's in your face.
But now it's just open. I mean, people just say it out loud. I mean, you can see it in front of your face, the flashiness, the this, the that.
But what they forget, and please, it's a reminder, there are persons who have been convicted.
Correct.
And this is a very, very serious matter. So both parties, those who sell and those who buy, both parties are guilty, but can be convicted under our laws. Yeah. It is there. This is not a joke.
Correct.
You know, so when you're being called up, when you're interrogated, when you have to go through the entire judicial system, and it starts to dawn on you that for $500 or $1,000, whatever, that you on short term, because you want to either take revenge or say, I don't care, it has consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has consequences for our people and our young democracy.
But do you seeing that what's been going on in this country? I mean, you can probably feel it with your experience as well. Do you feel that we'll have a higher voter turnout based on people that are so disappointed and just want that change and want to make sure that these people do not get that opportunity again?
Yes, Chris. And that's the strange feeling of this. So while people are very disappointed, and the closer we get to the voting process itself, the day itself, I feel that more people who, for example, didn't vote in the last elections, who said, I'm going for my voting card, and it's not to vote for the incumbent parties.
Correct.
They're like, no, I'm going to take a stand, and my stand is by voting. So I want to encourage the people of Sint Maarten to continue on that trend. Yeah. You have a few more hours to really, like they say, poke it to them, and make sure that the quality of life depends on you.
Yeah.
We here, the candidates or party, is just a conduit.
Yes.
It's just one of the ways to change this narrative that is very, very ugly into something that will translate into a cleaner, brighter, more beautiful Sint Maarten, where people are happy and content and not aggressive and disappointed in the politicians
and that's a discussion we had as well. That's kind of the reason I put my hat in the ring as well.
Yes.
To kind of not only for myself but for the next generations to make being a politician a positive something.
Absolutely.
Because it's so negative right now that when I was telling super earlier that when a parent hears their child saying, I want to become a politician, and be like, no, why would you do that? So we want to encourage that it's something positive.
Absolutely.
But in order to have that, you need to start with having positive role models out there and positive politicians out there that are doing the right thing.
Correct.
Then you could say, yes, you can be a politician, but make sure be like that one.
Be like that one. Yeah, you have a choice.
You
have a choice. Remember last night during our last public meeting, that was the message that I had. You have a choice, remember?
Yes.
Each time I brought forward an issue that I know resonated with the public, I ended that sentence by saying to the people, you have a choice.
Yes.
And that choice is priceless.
Yeah.
There was a time when some of our people used to be sold. Literally, we had a price on our heads.
Yes.
So now, a few centuries later, I'm like, come on, we can do better.
But we're still sold. But we're stuck in the mental slavery.
Yep.
We're not stuck in physically slaved, but we're mentally slaved by the system that we're put in. And one of the things that I must say, I don't know how you felt, but last night looking at the crowd, I felt good.
Yes.
Because we didn't have to give out one chicken leg.
No.
And no drink, not even a drink.
Nothing.
People came with their coolers and everything.
Correct.
And the crowd we had was just genuine people.
Absolutely.
That wanted to be there and listen to what we had to say. And it was massive.
It was very encouraging.
The whole parking lot was pretty much full, parked with cars. So it gave me hope as well, that they really came just to listen to us, all the candidates, and to ensure that, hey, guys, but also to let us know you have our support.
Yes,
and that we're going in the right direction. And I think that was, for me, that was the highlight of the night.
Absolutely. And indeed, during that last meeting last night, I also said, you have a choice. You have a choice to be here or anywhere else.
Correct.
But you are here, remember?
Yes.
And I said, I am here and we are here as URSM. So that is funny how that message last night is now tying into us here speaking of the way forward.
Yes.
We have to be optimistic regardless or in spite of the negativity of there. We have to be the leaders in being positive for the people. We need to uplift, because it doesn't make sense if all of us are, we feel the plight of the people, and at the same time we're like, oh, you know what, it's so hard. No. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's it. So we have the programs, we have the projects, we have the vision, the real vision, with substance.
And we have the expertise.
Absolutely, right here. Right here, absolutely. Again, it's about Parliament, and I want to, before we close off, because I don't know how long we have, there are a few issues.
How long we have? 2 minutes.
Okay,
so I'll give you the floor for 2 minutes.
Okay.
No, I want you to really hammer in, because I think with your experience and knowing that it's the eve of election, I want to just give you the final 2 minutes. Or
thank you.
And I'll just close out by saying thank you in the net, But I want to really, for you to hammer in the importance and whatever message you have to say to let the people know.
Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. Well, Parliament is about making laws and changing the lives of our people. And some of the issues that we spoke about that are very important for us to tackle is changing, for example, the electoral law, changing or expanding the laws for the ombudsman to see how far we can get for the ombudsman to have investigative powers for example, the government-owned company, having voting rights for our students. So for the next election, our students in the Netherlands will have a chance to vote, because we will have to keep that word. So I'm imploring on the people of Sint Maarten, on the voters, those that are disenchanted, that are upset about how they have been treated, that this is your opportunity to change this narrative, to change your life and the lives of your children. With the URSM, we have the expertise, we are passionate, and we are competent to change your life with the policies and projects that we have in our manifesto. Based on our experience, Chris, you're a very experienced person as well, and knowledgeable in government and governmental issues. The next parliament, when it's sworn in February, God willing, will be a parliament that the people of Sint Maarten will be absolutely proud of. But it starts with your vote. And we won't take your vote for granted. I make that pledge and that promise, and I hope that the people of Sint Maarten turn out en masse tomorrow and send that message resounding to give that mandate to the URSM under the leadership of Dr. Luc Mercelina.
Yeah, thank you. I want to, just by closing off, thank Ms. Cressida Arrindell for being here this evening. I would like to thank my special local guest, local superstar, super kid, for being here as well, for interviewing me, taking the time out, and bringing a new dynamic. And I would just like to tell the people of Sint Maarten, the change is here. I've said it in Belvedere. It just came about. I wasn't even thinking about it, but it just came over me when I saw the people there, and I let them know that the change is here. And we have that moment now. It's in our control. Don't be worried about the bullying. It will stop. Yes. But it starts with you to cast that vote tomorrow for that change. I've given my all. I think Rosita has definitely given her all as well. The party, the URSM, has given its all to the people of Sint Maarten. We've done all we could have done, I think, in the time that we started, to inform the population, reaching out to them, answering the questions, and just letting you know that we are real, we are the real change. And come tomorrow, please go out and make a change, not only for you, but for the next generations to come.
Vote early.
Vote early. Yes. I'm your candidate number 2, Christopher Wever, on the URSM slate.
And I'm candidate number 6.
Candidate number 6, Ms. Cressida Arrindell. Both good choices. So when you go out tomorrow, make a choice. Yes. And I thank you. Good evening. And we'll see you in a new day and a new way for Sint Maarten. Thank you.
Thank you.